Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Jaiva Dharma series. In this, we are going to answer some of the very frequently asked questions on spirituality based on the teachings of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur given in Jaiva Dharma. So today's question is, what is Dharma? And that means what is religion? And why are there so many religions in this world? If eternal religion is one, why are there so many religions in this world? So we are going to answer this. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur starts his answer by saying that by God's arrangement, every object in this world is identified by its property. The object has its dharma, or the object has its characteristic, innate characteristic that defines that object. So take for example water. The characteristic of water is to satisfy thirst. But when that object comes in contact with some other foreign object by accident, then that innate characteristic is sometimes covered and the foreign characteristic takes over, shows its face, appears whichever way you would like to see it. So let's say the example of water that we took. So when the salt is added in the water, so the thirst quenching characteristic of water is covered and the salty water can no longer quench the thirst. So that is called as the accidental nature. One is called as eternal nature, one is called as accidental nature. Similarly, soul, all of us are parts of God, and therefore our eternal function or dharma or natural characteristic is to serve God. But because we came in contact with foreign object, which is material world, that serving God aspect or that characteristic or that dharma, that sanatan nature of ours is covered over, and the material sattva raja guna, or those three kinds of modes, or we can say the properties of matter, they are showing their, making their appearance, and we are thinking this is what we are. So by contact of matter, we have developed different kinds of conditioning, and because of that conditioning, it has given rise to different sorts of accidental nature. So for example, our nationality, our gender, our education, our wealth, so all these things, our position in the society, so all these things govern our uh, conditioned nature, and therefore owing to the fact that we have come in contact with foreign elements and that foreign nature is showing up, because of which there are so many religions or so many characteristics, you can say, or so many dharmas for the conditioned soul. But the original characteristic of the soul is only one. Original religion or Sanatan Dharma is only one, that is to serve God, to love God. Uh, that is only being covered over and showing myriads of different aspects in terms of Deha Dharma, the duty related to the body, the duty related to the society, duty related to the family, world, because of which so many duties or so many religions have come into picture. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, another point he mentions, so any religion, wherever, whatever may be the location of and nationality and wherever, whatever may be the province, any religion that talks about God being eternal, souls being eternal, and there is eternal relationship of servant master between the soul and God, that religion is bona fide, because that is truly projecting the eternal characteristic of the soul. So that is Sanatan Dharma. So any religion that talks about God is eternal, soul is eternal, and our relationship as God being master, we being the loving servant, and God being the loving master is eternal, whichever religion propagates that is a bona fide religion. Hmm. It is Sanatan Dharma. So one may say, well, we understand that there is one Sanatan Dharma, and then there are Deha Dharma and other types of Anya Apara Dharma. Hmm. But within Sanatan Dharma also we see there is so much variety. What is the reason for this variety? Like why there needs to be so many religions if all of them are talking about one? There is God is one, and souls are many. Both God and soul are eternal, and there is a loving relationship between them. So if that is being propagated by so many uh, if this is the only one principle, then why there is a differentiation between so many religions in this world? uh, so the answer is twofold. A, because of why there is fighting between the one eternal religion, one religion speaking eternal principles and another religion speaking eternal principles. Why is there fight in between them? So there are two reasons. A, because of the provincial or narrow minded understanding of the followers, that makes the whole situation very contentious. And second, different levels of revelation uh, in different scriptures about the same God. So one scripture may tell that God is almighty, which is correct, and that is a one level of realization or one level of revelation. But if you see the Vedas, you will get more revelation that not only God is almighty, but he wants to have loving familial relationships between him and the souls. Hmm. Prapancham nishprapanchopi vidambayasi bhutale prapanna janatanandam, prapanna janatananda sandoham pratitum prabhu. Hmm. So Krishna is, and that God has name, that God has form, that God has pastime. So different levels of revelations in different scriptures. So that gives rise to sometimes unnecessary contention between the followers due to lack of ability to uh, reconcile the different presentation in which the truth is presented. So any broad-minded person or follower will understand that eternal religion is one, Sanatan Dharma, that uh, God is one, God is eternal, souls are many, nityo nityanam chetana shetananam, eko bahunam yo vidadati kama, and that same God is being omnipotent. He can come in many different forms. So when one understands these facts, being broad-minded, and understand that different scriptures have different levels of revelations, mm, with this understanding, one will not only progress in his own spiritual life towards God, but he will be sympathetic, considerate, and respectful towards other paths who are also talking about eternal principles of life. Hare Krishna.